Distress, and well, I think the whole of the tennis world just holds its breath again for Nadal, who, as I've already referenced...
Is this the end for Rafael Nadal? That's the burning question on everyone's mind right now. Remember the day when Rafa hit the Parisian courts with a fire in his eyes? The record 14 French Open victories that followed? Well, this is where things take a dark turn. Let's dig into why. But before that, did you know that the year 1983 was the year that a tennis match literally killed? What caused the deadly end to this match, you wonder? Watch till the end to find out, because the answer will surprise you. And as always, if this video serves up some tennis joy, volley that like button and backhand a subscribe for more ace-worthy tennis content like this.
It's brilliant! Absolutely sensational!
Remember 2005? That's when Nadal first started playing in the French Open. And guess what? He's won it 14 times in the last 18 years. It's super tough to beat this guy. In fact, only the super talented Novak Djokovic could do it twice. And of course, who could forget the amazing match against Robin Soderling in 2009? But hey, nobody's perfect. He had to leave once before the third round in 2016 because of an injury. Now, if you think Rafael Nadal is just a tennis player, you're missing a big part of the story. He says, "I'm not a tennis player who gets injured all the time. I'm an injured person who happens to play tennis." Interesting. So tennis is his side hustle, huh? Got it. Let's go back in time and look at his injuries. When he was a young guy, he missed the French Opens in 2003 and 2004. Why? First, an elbow injury and then a stress fracture on his left ankle. In 2006, his foot was the problem, so he couldn't play in the Australian Open. Fast forward to 2009, his knee kept him out of Wimbledon. Then in 2012, another knee problem and no US Open for him. The years 2013 and 2014, well, he missed the Australian Open because he was sick and the US Open because of wrist problems. His wrist gave him trouble again in 2016, making him leave the French Open and miss Wimbledon. Then in 2021, his left foot hurt too much for the US Open and he had to leave Wimbledon because of a muscle problem.
Is that if I keep going, the injury gonna be worse and worse. And
this year, his hip caused trouble at the Australian Open. Phew, that's a lot of injuries. But there's one big problem that's been with him all the time: Müller-Weiss syndrome. This is a horrific foot problem that makes his foot hurt all the time. Some people thought he was just pretending, but it's real. Imagine feeling pain every time you walk or run. And he played tennis with that pain. Crazy, right? When he was young, doctors told him about this problem, but he didn't want surgery till 2021. Last year, he won the Australian Open and the French Open and had to take medicine to help with the pain. That's how much he loves tennis and how tough he is. But the story doesn't end there. Rafael Nadal, often known as Rafa, has ruled the tennis world for years, but in October he stepped into a new role. Being a father, Rafa welcomed a baby boy and gave him his own name. Balancing family and tennis isn't easy. Last year, Rafa admitted that sometimes, while playing, his thoughts drifted to his son. That's powerful, isn't it? Every athlete faces challenges, and for Rafa, it's choosing between the sport he loves and the family he cherishes. Tennis stars like Federer and Novak manage to juggle family and sport, but Rafa's journey feels different. There's a tug of war inside him. Some fans cheer him on, saying, "Take your time, Rafa." Others whisper, "Come back, we miss you," reminding us of how Victoria Azarenka returned to the courts. Rafa's recent absence from tennis is a mirror of Federer's 2022 hiatus. Rafa, after 912 weeks, that's 18 years in the top 10, has seen his ranks slip. But even if numbers drop, his legacy remains untouchable. And while some worry he might not return to his peak, others know doors will always be open for him, much like they were for legends Federer and Andy Murray. The big three, Rafa, Federer and Novak, are iconic. With Federer retired and Novak not at his peak, it feels like a chapter is closing. Yet every end is a new beginning. Rafa's break might mean a new champion rises. So who do you think is next in line for the crown? All we know is Rafa's sacrifices, countless. The hours, the sweat, the injuries, all for the love of the game. His dedication, unmatched. Even if you're in the Federer camp or a Novak loyalist, you can't deny Rafa's impact. On and off the court, he's been extraordinary, even showcasing skills in football. As the curtain slowly descends on Rafa's career, the tennis world holds its breath. Legends like him come once in a lifetime. Whether he chooses family, tennis, or both, one thing's for sure. Rafa's legacy is forever etched in history. But something exciting lies ahead. Everyone's talking about it. Rafa might be back in 2024, and we got the latest news straight from his friend Feliciano Lopez. Nadal, 37 years old now, hasn't played since the Australian Open in January. He left in the second round. Why? He had to get hip surgery. But here's some exciting news. He thinks 2024 will be his big goodbye year. He said he wants to try to enjoy and say goodbye to all the tournaments that have been important to me. That sounds like some big matches are coming. Now, what about his health? Feliciano Lopez spilled the beans. He saw Nadal in Mallorca in June and said he was looking great, and not just good for someone who had surgery. Lopez told people like The Independent that Nadal was working perfectly, feeling healthy, and everything is great so far. But wait, when is he coming back? Lopez gave us a hint. He said Nadal needs to finish getting better, but by the end of this year, Nadal will be fully recovered. That's awesome, but Lopez also told us to chill a bit, because we may not know the exact date of Nadal's return until it hits us. The journey of Nadal, with highs and lows, shows the heart of a champion. His possible 2024 comeback after challenges and family joys keeps fans on edge. No matter what, Nadal's legacy in tennis remains unmatched. We wait with bated breath for his next move.
Oh, can you believe it? He's done it again!
Now let's provide more context on the trivia question from before, the tennis match that killed. 1983 was a year no one in the tennis world will forget. Sergei Likachev, a strong Soviet tennis player, stepped onto the court. His opponent? Not another pro, but a rich businessman. Many thought it was just a game, but the tension was so thick you could almost touch it. Each hit of the ball was like a punch. Likachev was on fire, playing hard. The businessman tried to keep up, but he was out of his depth. Sweat poured. Breaths got heavy. The businessman's face turned red. The crowd felt something was off. Then it happened. Right there, on that green court, the businessman collapsed. His heart couldn't take the extreme stress from the game. The hard smashes, the runs, and the pressure had pushed him too far. He was dead. People were shocked. A game, just a game, had killed a man. Tennis wasn't supposed to be deadly, but in 1983 it was. This match was a dark mark on tennis history, showing just how dangerous a game can turn when pushed to the edge. And that, my friends, is game, set, and match for this episode of Glam Slam Tennis. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action and what we have in store. Until next time, stay fabulous and ace those serves.